but some people do. So if you're one of those people that may forget sometimes, set an alarm. If you're part of the Vincent Owens Group, set an alarm. We have multiple calls a week, Monday through Saturday. Sunday's our only day off. Monday through Saturday, we have a call every single day dealing with trading, dealing with mindset, dealing with investing, dealing with tokenomics, dealing with everything dealing in this industry. So there's absolutely no reason why people should not be making money in this space. There's absolutely no reason why people should not be able to really take this space to the next level. There's no reason. And shout out to everybody that's tuning in on YouTube. Wow. Hey, the numbers is rising. I went to YouTube and we popped up. You know what I mean? Let's see if we can go ahead and do it. Well, shout out to hopefully look, I ain't gonna butcher your name. It's first time seeing you on here, but shout out to Miss Rice. All right. I just want to say shout out to Miss Rice on the call. I don't know who invited you, but I'm happy that you're here. All right. And I promise you, shout out to Devin. Can we send some love in the chat box for Devin? Can we send some love in the chat box for my sister Devin? She needs it. Devin needs it. And we know how plugged in Devin be. Look, y'all know me. I'm gonna look through the chat box and see who's here. And the people I know that really need that love, I'm gonna make sure that you get it. I want you to know that you are loved here on the show. This is a real community. We really know each other. You know what I mean? We really bond here. This is nothing different, you know? So shout out to Devin. Also, shout out to Ms. Zuli. I know you'll see the recording later. So let me make sure that we get this thing recorded here. Shout out to Ms. Zuli. Shout out to Devin. Shout out to all the people in Florida that was dealing with the hurricane. You know, if you made it through, just know that you made it through. But listen, I dropped it inside of our Discord. Don't forget, there's some free money that is coming your way. All right. Make sure you guys look into it. If your home was damaged, you need help. All right. Restoring your home, restoring your community. There's some money that Florida's giving out. All right. I don't know the exact name of it. I dropped it inside the Discord. Hopefully you're paying attention to the Discord and you can get you some of that money. All right. Now, if you don't live in Florida, I wouldn't recommend trying to get none of that money. Okay. I would not recommend it because we want to make sure we continue to see you on this show and not from behind bars. All right. So with that being said, welcome to Coffee and Crypto, the #1 cryptocurrency morning the show. Today, this is going to be a show like no other. All right. Today's show is actually sponsored by Burger King. All right. We got our coffee. All right. If you got your coffee today, just turn your camera on real quick and take a toast with me. If you got your tea, you know, if you got your juice this morning, your smoothie, you know, your what else? Your water, whatever else it is that you have, please turn your cameras on and just give me a quick toast real quick. You know what I mean? And if you ain't got nothing to drink, just give me a fist bump. You know, a little fist bump don't hurt. A little fist bump don't hurt. Shout out to everybody staying hydrated this morning. This morning's it's sponsored by Burger King. They told me to tell you to have it your way. That was the message from Burger King this morning, to have it your way. So we're going to have it our way here on Coffee and Crypto this morning. Shout out to my sis Solo. I appreciate you. All right. We had an amazing call last night, a mindset call. If you guys do not get onto Success Talk, last night was incredible. We'll have up the recording. I know Miss Sharon asked me for the recording, so I'll make sure that I get this recording up, and I'm going to get better at it. I'm actually going to try to hire someone to take care of the recordings. That's probably going to be better because I know that sometimes I'm doing a lot, and you know, it's not, you know, don't hold it against my heart. Just hold it against my head, you know, but sometimes we forget certain things, you know what I mean? And so that's just in the head, but I'm letting you guys know that I'm making a conscious decision. Hold me accountable. We are accountability partners. Before we get into the show, I just got to be real with y'all. We're an accountability partner. Now, if y'all watching on YouTube, I rock with y'all, but y'all look, y'all not on the Zoom. I'm talking to my Zoom family that's here right now. Listen, we're accountability partners. If I forget to drop a recording in the Zoom, say, Vince, where that recording at? That'll give me that motion to go and drop it, right? And because just as much as I try to hold y'all accountable, look, y'all got to hold me accountable too. It's like a, you know, it's a thin line. It's a double-edged sword. And I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate everybody for always tuning in. Shout out to my brother Mo, always tapping in, being in. Appreciate you, brother. So with that being said, let's really get into today's content. Now, what I want to talk about is, number one, what is your plan? Okay, what is your plan? XRP goes to $100. It goes to $1,000. What is your plan? And I love to hear from the Zoom today. And if you're on YouTube, I want you to learn something. We're going to Zoom. We're going to speak a little more today, more in the beginning, more than even at the end. So I want to know from a couple people who are confident enough to come up right now, what is your plan? XRP goes to $100, $1,000, and make sure you raise your hand up. That way I can call on you. But what is your plan? You know, I ask you this because people don't have a plan, and people are not preparing properly, and proper preparation prevents a piss poor performance. And I believe that in the next 10 years, 5 years, there'll be another performance. There'll be something that we have to, there'll be another level of performance, right? That we have to perform on. And that preparation time that we're spending now, that proper preparation that we're spending together on these calls, that's why it really doesn't matter how many views it gets, because we're still going to get wealthy. It doesn't matter how many people get on the call, because we're still going to gain our wealth, because we got our bags packed. Our bags are packed. We're sitting in the seat right now, and we're waiting for takeoff. So I'm gonna ask for my brother Jamar. And if you didn't raise your hand, I'm gonna assume that you don't have a plan, and that's not good either. Or I'm gonna assume you're at work. All right, if you're at work, all right. But if you're not at work and you don't have and if you don't have a plan, that's not a bad thing either. You can't know everything, right? I just want to be real. So the people that have a plan, I would love to hear from you. Jamar, the floor is yours, brother.
What's going on, everybody, this morning? Basically, if I'm bought around, I've held bags probably around 17 cents under XRP. I've kind of sold out several times before. Look in other assets. Look at other things that may be in your community. Look and see right now, because this is the time of the world where this is our opportunity to move forward. This is the opportunity to literally, when you maybe have had generations and generations of family that have lived a certain mediocre way, you don't want to live like that no more. Look into real estate, look into other assets that are moving around. Like you're going to be looking at mainly gold, looking at silver, looking at a lot of real estate, because right now I'm focused on real estate more than anything. I'm working with a couple of people out in Nashville, Tennessee right now, because we've never seen the market boom like this before. We've never seen the market shoot up to 400 to 500,000 for homes that were only worth 115, 150, 200,000. Now these homes are in the 400s, and we're waiting for this crash. When XRP moves, and I'm thinking I'm very comfortable knowing that it's going to move over the $20 range when it takes off, I will be taking at least 50% of portions and putting it into some type of commercial real estate land. And then I will also be able to take my other 50% that I have, and I will be putting that right back into either XRP for the next burst that it'll take off later on, or I will be looking into Quant, which is another network, HBAR, looking into those other networks that will be moving big into the metaverse and NFT areas. So that's where I'm basically going to start off my Tuesday morning, and looking at this market at 47 cents right now.
Let's go, baby. Hey, Jamar, you off the chain, man. I appreciate you, bro. The energy that you bring to the group is phenomenal, man. And I just want to say, I know we had a conversation not long ago when you joined, and bro, you have not you have not detoured away from what you said. You was coming in here, what your mission was to come into this group was to just be another vessel for people to be able to learn from with the years of wealth and experience that you have. And I just want to say thank you.
All day, brother.
Absolutely. Let's light it up for Jamar, man. Jamar is off the chain, bro. I can't wait to come to Nashville. I got my master's degree in Nashville at Meharry, so I'm definitely ready to come back out to Nashville. I'm in real estate right now. Like y'all probably see my board behind me, but I'm in real estate right now. You know what I mean? And my board is here. Like I'm in real estate. So it's like, understanding that real estate is so important. And I didn't understand it. I didn't know that real estate was I knew, but I didn't really realize that it was this important until I understood that it was this important. And I didn't understand that crypto, I love how he said taking 50% of his XRP. He didn't talk about the other holdings. I'm sure there's other holdings too that he's going to take percentages up. But he said, I'm going to take 50% of my XRP put it into commercial real estate land, and we're going to start to build commercial real estate. That's the type of things that you should be looking to do with this money. That's how you should be planning your future. All right. That is how it should be happening for you. Okay. Another thing that you guys want to do is the reason why we have the Vincent Owens Group. The reason why I offer one-on-one mentorship is because you got to know your entry and exit positions. I know it by a T. Not here to show, I cannot share it on this call because we do not offer financial advice on this call. So this call is for entertainment purposes only. Anything that you hear us talk about we're investing in, you want to go and do your own research. Make sure that you do your own research because we don't want you coming back, just in case. We don't want you coming back saying, oh, you said invest into Shiba Inu and it tanked and I lost all my money. No, we told you to do your own research. I still got my Shiba bag. I didn't sell. I still got millions and millions of Shiba. I surely do. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm not counting on Shiba. That's not what I'm counting on. I'm not counting on it. But I'm going to tell you something. If it take off like Dogecoin to 70 cents, we got our bags packed and we are out of here. We are out of here. Shout out to Shiba, right? So I'm not that crazy to understand. I'm not that crazy to understand that anything is possible in this space. But the chances that Shiba will pump the way that it did back then and created all these millions, it's really hard to see it 100%. Some of you only need a penny Shiba. Don't know if you'll see it. Don't know if I'll see it. All I need is a penny Shiba, but I don't know if I'll see a penny Shiba. But if we see a penny Shiba, thank you. That's all I can say, right? So I appreciate you, Jamar. I saw a couple other people's hands raised. I saw you guys put your hands down. So, I won't call on you because I assume you might have gotten busy. But what we'll do is we'll move forward. And, if you're looking for entry exit plans, you need to understand technical analysis. All right. We have our Discord group that's open, and I have never opened it. I'm telling you, I've never opened the Discord. Like, the Discord was really only for people who were paying the high ticket program. And something dawned on me. It said, hey, a lot of people may not be able to actually afford the high ticket. And that's nothing wrong with that. You will be able to. But right now, maybe you can't. So what we've been able to do is be able to open up our Discord group for $50 a month to people from around the world. And we'll have thousands of people in Discord. All right, $50 for you to learn technical analysis, 2 calls a week, $50 for you to be able to plug in with some of the greatest minds, people that this is all I do. All right, this is all I do. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you all, this is all you do as well. And so we want to make sure that we've built the stadium for people, because when you build a stadium, the people will come. Now, let's go ahead and dive into this information because I know that's why y'all are here. All right, so let's jump into this. Now, I got a lot of video footage to cover today. So we may go a little over time. So I apologize now, but it's going to be worth it. All right. So coin market cap today shows 21,200 coins, 527 exchanges, and a market cap still under $1 trillion. All right. We're still under $1 trillion. Now, let's go and look and see how's the market looking with our top 10 coins. Bitcoin's down over seven days, up 24 hours. All right. Still dancing at 20,000. That's what makes me feel like, you know what? We may not have saw the bottom yet. Ethereum, same thing, same story. All right. BNB token, all right, jumps, it flips USD coin. All right. So BNB is now the number 4 coin. XRP coming in at number 6. It's up, all right, 6% over the last 24 hours. We're up to a 48-cent XRP now. Okay. Cardano, 43 cent right now, down 4% over the last 7 days. Solana, and then also Dogecoin still holding it. Polygon Matic coming in at 84 cent. All right, up 7%. So we can see that there's a huge variation. We can see that there's a huge variation. We can see that there's a huge variation between the market. All right, we can see there's a huge variation between the market itself, different coins, right? So some are red, some are green. Okay, so just pay attention to what's happening in the market. Okay, now let's jump over to crypto Twitter. Now, some of the things that I want to show you guys that I pulled for today is I want to start this video, and this is for newer people that are still trying to figure out if crypto, this is for newer people that's still trying to figure out whether cryptocurrency is really the right space to be invested into. And so if you don't know who this guy is, it's Kevin O'Leary. Okay, I believe we showed this video before on Coffee and Crypto episodes before, but I want to show this quick video coverage to show you that billionaires are in this space and you must follow the money. Pay attention.
I look at crypto not as coins or tokens. I look at it all as software. It's productivity software. The projects that are going to last and be here, a decade away from now are ones that actually solve problems. So let's give an example. I'm an investor in Polygon. I'm a very fortunate guy. I'm able to call up the leaders of these projects and these teams, and they return my call, and I ask to meet them anywhere in the world. In this case, we met in Dubai with the Polygon team. I'm an investor in software engineers. I always have been. I've been in the software industry for 20 years. They're very, very strong. And with their mandate, what they decided to do is to try and reduce the cost by sitting on top of Ethereum and aggregating transactions. So the gas fees are a fraction of what they would be if you're doing them one at a time. I thought that was a brilliant strategy, and I made an investment in Polygon. The same with Solana, the same with Ethereum, the same with HBAR. All of these are software, and they all have different attributes. If you're investing in, for example, in Google or in Microsoft, what are you investing in? You're investing in software. Why wouldn't you invest in crypto? It's software too. And in the case of crypto, just take, for example, Circle and USDC. USDC takes a lot of pressure and reduces fees in all kinds of different ways. And in the case of staking, gives you some kind of yield against inflation. So all of this to me is just software engineering, and I have a broad portfolio. I'm very familiar with the engineers involved in each of these projects. I support them. I'm an advocate for it. And the regulator is, in my view, going to eventually support these initiatives because of the tremendous economic enhancement and productivity they provide for the underlying economy. And as far as the US regulator is concerned, they have the opportunity to lead the globe in policy, whether it be stablecoin, whether it be Bitcoin, whatever it's going to be. And I don't think they want to give up that opportunity. They just want to get it right. And those of us that are waiting for their decisions are very optimistic, because you can look at this two ways. You can say, okay, the regulators are getting in the way of growth. That's one way to look at it. I don't look at it that way. I look at it saying, when the US regulator makes its policy, the floodgates of institutional sovereign wealth are going to pour into these crypto assets, globe in policy, whether it be stablecoin, whether it be Bitcoin, whatever it's going to be. And I don't think they want to give up that opportunity. They just want to get it right. And those of us that are waiting for their decisions are very optimistic, because you can look at this two ways. You can say, okay, the regulators are getting in the way of growth. That's one way to look at it. I don't look at it that way. I look at it saying, when the US regulator makes its policy, the floodgates of institutional sovereign wealth are going to pour into these crypto assets. And I want to be well positioned before that happens.
Woo! How many of you all are well positioned? Like, right before we are well positioned, right? Drop well positioned in the chat box if you're well positioned. We are well positioned before institutional investors open the floodgates and pour into this market. Understand that we are in the beginning stages. See, the video that I have to show you guys, I found online. I found this online, and it's a video that we're going to show closer to the end. It's going to take us kind of through, through everything. But when it comes to this space, we've transitioned, we've seen, and everybody was alive on this call as we've seen this transition over the years. We were alive, whether you were a kid during Web 1, Web 2, you were a teenager, Web 3, you were an adult. If you're a little older, Web 1, you were a teenager, Web 2, you are an adult, Web 3, you're moving into becoming a senior. Okay, understanding that there's different levels, and understand that Web 4, if you're going to be a senior in Web 3, by the time Web 4 is already here. We talked about it episodes ago. Like that was like episode 4, 5. I don't know if y'all was on here that long ago, but episode 4 or 5, we talked about like Web 4. Web 4 is complete artificial intelligence dominance, complete robotics. I don't know if you guys saw it, and I don't have it up. I'll look it up and I'll show you. But Tesla has already created a robot. They're creating it, and by I believe they said 2025, you'll be able to purchase a $20,000 robot that will go in, and I'm about to call on you, Jamar. You'll be able to purchase a $20,000 robot that will be able to do chores, wash dishes, do everything for you. So if you don't understand that Web 4 is here, come on, y'all. Go ahead, Jamar.
Hey, just so I want to throw out there too, because I'm big into the conspiracy stuff, but they released that robot on the same day that is the year of iRobot that Will Smith was dealing with those robots, just so y'all know. It'll blow your minds. I'll literally take you to the deepest rabbit hole ever.
Man, listen, we need a new show called The Deepest Rabbit Hole Ever. Starring Jamar. The deepest rabbit hole ever. Hey, that might be, that sounds good right there.
Hey, it does. It does.
Hey, I'm down to go with you, man. I got nowhere else to go. So I got nowhere else to go but into this rabbit hole.
We'll talk. We'll definitely talk.
Let's talk, brother. I'm excited, man. But yo, that's exciting. So make sure y'all look that up. All right, make sure y'all look that up. Literally released it I didn't even know that. So I appreciate you letting me know, because I'm gonna go look that up and learn more, because I'm deep into that conspiracy stuff too. It kind of interests me. So let's keep diving a little deeper. All right, I got more stuff to show you guys. Today's call, like I said, is going to be heavy on the video side. Okay, so pay attention.
This currency crisis that I've spoken about will cause some kind of an event where the system gets reset. Now, whether they write off sovereign debt in that environment, or whether they come up with a new currency system like a new Bretton Woods, I really don't know. I think something's going to be forced on the governments of the world. What I think will come next is some sort of government-sponsored stablecoin, whether it's Fed coin or what do they call it, the coin now or something. I know they announced it a month ago. Yeah. I don't remember the exact name, but I think the genie's kind of out of the bottle with the stable coins and with the Bitcoin and the rise of crypto. I think that the governments of the world are going to adopt what was created in the private market and use it. I don't think we're going to go to a Bitcoin standard. I don't think Bitcoin's going to become money. I think governments are going to kind of co-opt that digital asset space for their own. It doesn't mean that digital assets won't still exist and be a store of value or trade as a reserve asset in some form or another. But I do think that we're going, I expect us to continue to have a fiat system. It would be the first time kind of in the history of the world, not totally, but to a certain extent that no government was overseeing the money, right? And it was just a total free market for money. I think that's very highly unlikely. I know kind of within the crypto world and within the digital asset space, DeFi is kind of an important thing. I actually think that the world, this is not what I want, but what I say, I think we're going towards a more centralized world rather than a decentralized world. I think power is being consolidated rather than given away. And I think when we get into this sovereign debt crisis, you're going to see even more power consolidated. And when that happens, I do not expect whoever wins that battle, I don't expect them to cede power over the currency to somebody else, or certainly not a private market currency.
Right. And so now I have an account at Bank of America. Bank of America has an account with the Fed. The move to a central bank digital currency would allow me to have an account with the Fed. Do you think that the commercial banks sort of get cut off on the action? And what do you think? Or the commercial banks is extremely important when people talk about printing money. So do you see how JP Morgan, how do these big banks thrive in an environment where everyday people can just interact with the Federal Reserve?
Well, so this is an area that I've thought a lot about, and I kind of find it really interesting. I haven't come to any conclusions yet, but I think there's a potential battle between the Treasury and the Fed, which sounds impossible because they work so closely together. But if you think about it, the Fed kind of represents the banks.
All right. Had a fantastic interview with Brent, who just was starting to talk about central bank digital currencies and stuff.
Hold on.
Which sounds impossible because they work so closely together. But if you think about it, the Fed kind of represents the banks.
Hold on. What was that about? like I was watching this video, and I'm like, I was watching this video, And y'all probably felt the same way. Like, why did this alarm start going off when they started talking about the Fed? Why did this alarm start going off just out of nowhere when they started talking about the Fed, right? In this particular video that's on Blockworks. Now, maybe it was just coincidence. Pretty sure it was, like, you know me, but it's just crazy how things happen out of nowhere, right? So now I want to show you guys, because a couple of things that he was talking about is that we're moving into a more centralized world, right? Not necessarily decentralized, because these leading entities and enterprises, they don't want to hand it over to a private, private institute, private sector. It still needs to be, handled by what we're used to. It's just they're going to adopt these things. So it kind of runs me into what I want to show you all with this right now. I pulled this article, and this was from September 29th. BRICS nations, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and what's the last company? South Africa, right? So discussing introduction of single currency to ease trade, says Russian envoy. So the BRICS nations is discussing introduction of a single currency. Now, something that I was asked, and I'm gonna come back to the camera, but I was inside of the bank yesterday, talking to my business banker. Shout out to my business banker. He actually might be on the call, but shout out to bro. But he asked me, if JP Morgan has a coin, because he works at Chase. He's like, we got the JP Morgan coin. You have all. He was like, what does that do for XRP? And a lot of people love to ask me this question to kind of see what's my temperature on it. And I told him like this: XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, these are all technologies. Apple is not a currency. Microsoft is not a currency, right? It's not. It's a technology. It's software. So XRP, I don't believe that we're going to pay. I don't believe that we're going to I never believe that. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I never believe that we're going to pay using Bitcoin, which he said we're not in that video. I never believe that we're going to pay using XRP. But the thing about it that people don't understand is they don't understand what system it actually utilizes. They don't understand what is the system that helps us pay today, which is SWIFT, which is an old model. And we're going to jump into that here in a couple of videos. But that particular model, okay, that particular model is how we send money from one place to another. We just send money and we pay the fees, and we wait for the amount of time. In the past, we never knew what SWIFT was and why it and what it is and what the technology. We don't understand that. Same thing that we're not going to understand when central bank digital currencies start to become an actual thing, and all your money is digital. You're just going to know, hey, I need to send money to my friend in Africa or to this business in Africa, right? You're not going to really know. Well, we will, but most of the world is not going to know that it's ISO 222 that's making this possible. And most of the world is not going to know that it's XRP as the currency that is in between this to send it from point A to point B. They're just going to know, I want to send my FedNow coin or my JP Morgan coin or my central bank digital currency from one country to this country. That's all they're going to know. And I know that now it's faster, it's cheaper, it's more convenient. I love this more. That's going to be the reality of the world. They don't teach us about these systems of SWIFT in school. So we can't expect them to teach us about this new system of ISO 222 in school. So you need to understand that your kids, when you have kids, if you have kids now, and when you have kids, they're not going to be taught about this. So it's up to you to at least make them understand what the value of this is, help them to understand this. Because whether we like it or not, ready or not, all right, here they come. We cannot hide. They're holding hands in this picture. All 5 of these countries, the BRICS nations, and they're coming together because they're tired of US dominance. Now, while this is happening, okay, we look over, and this is hot off the press too. Joe Biden's administration urges Congress to speed up crypto rules. So this just came out today. Let me see if I can. Oh, well, I guess I might not be able to. I had this up. Give me 1 second. Let me copy this real quick. Let me copy this, and then we're going to search for it on a different article. Here we go. We'll do crypto news. Okay. So the Biden administration urges speed up of crypto regulation as recession fears rise. So a fear of recession is happening. And one of the things that is pushing us into a recession is also this holdback of crypto assets, right? So it says that the US President Joe Biden's administration urged Congress to pass laws that will clarify how crypto assets should be regulated amid increasing fears of a global recession. All right, we remember talking about this, the U.S. Financial Stability Oversight Council, which is the council that was created in the U.S. to actually govern and create the rules and the laws. All right, and the reason why this oversight council was created was because of the collapse of the Terra Luna coin, Celsius, Three Arrows Capital, and all these other schemes and scams that have happened over the 2022 year. So they created a report that was entitled the Report on Digital Asset and Financial Stability Risks and Regulations. All right, and it reviewed financial stability risk and regulatory gaps posed by various types of digital assets and provides regulation. All right, and I'm going through this a little bit because a lot of you all may not have heard about this or may not were on the call. Okay, so I want you to understand that the landscape, okay, the regulation landscape, okay, of this new cryptocurrency, I would say, dominance in the financial market, especially the US, right? There's three main gaps, and we have to actually fill them, right? The first gap is the spot markets for cryptos, listing these as not being securities, all right? And so if they are listed as securities, all right, we wouldn't be able to do it. However, if they're listed as not being securities, they will be subject to a limited direct federal regulation, okay? So as of right now, that's why the federal government cannot regulate these assets properly, is because they're not deemed properly as, I guess, securities, all right, in our economy. The second thing is crypto businesses do not have a consistent or comprehensive regulatory framework and can engage in regulatory arbitrage, all right, or money laundering as well, okay? And then number two, a number of crypto asset trading platforms have proposed offering retail customers direct access to markets by vertically integrating the service provided by intermediaries such as broker dealers or futures commission merchants. Okay, to address regulatory gaps, the council recommended the following steps. Number one, the passage of legislation providing rules. All right, number two, steps to address regulatory arbitrage, including coordination. All right, legislation regarding risk posed by stable coins. So stable coins is a really big thing because I believe stable coins will have a major role when it comes to central bank digital currencies, because none of these institutional investors are going to feel safe with putting all of these investments, all their money into a Bitcoin directly. So there has to be something that's more stabilized where they won't feel like, they'll wake up tomorrow and billions of dollars will be wiped out because the market is being pushed down or being pushed up. Okay. So there's a lot happening, all right, in the US today alone. Okay. Then we go over here in the IMF, which is the International Monetary Fund. Global recession, they said that global recession can be avoided with the right fiscal policies. Okay. So the director of the International Monetary Fund, she's the managing director. Her name is Kristalina Georgieva. Georgieva. She speaks at a conference in Saudi Arabia. So something that you'll notice is there's so many emergency meetings that are starting to happen. So many emergency meetings. You know, I believe there's some people coming over to the US. I believe they're from Dubai. They're coming over to have an emergency meeting with the Biden administration in regards to the US role in global crypto domination or global crypto regulation. They're coming over here from other countries to figure out what it is that we're doing, right? So all eyes is on the US right now and how fast we can push some form of regulation out there, because we really are, as of right now, even today, we are the standard economy. People really pay attention to us for what's going to happen around the globe everywhere else. Okay, so let's continue to push forward. Okay, let's continue to push forward. Now, I wanted to jump into this video over here, and I have a couple of recorded sessions. Okay, this video, and as you can see, it came out September 30th, and it only has 96 views. This is crazy. Like y'all know how much information y'all feel like. I know I get comments all the time on the YouTube channel. Like, why do you only have like 40 views? Why is there only 100 views? Thousands of people should be seeing this show. Well, I felt the same way about this. And after I watched this entire video. And what I'm going to do is, you know, I'll drop this for you guys. So I'll share this with you all right now here. Let me share this link with you all. Okay. And then also let me go over to YouTube, and, you know, I'll share this as well with you all over in YouTube. But move this out the way. So I felt the same way about this video. Like, man, this was some great information. If people just knew about this video and they watched this video, the world of change that this could make for you in your understanding of crypto. So the very first space that I want to start off in is going to be at time marker number 11 minutes. Okay, at 11-minute time marker. Okay, and so I want you to listen to what they say during the next couple of minutes, and then we're gonna I have like two more to show after this.
To lose it. Gotcha. Sandy, if you'll forgive me for laying a little bit of the rails before handing over to you. You know, I think it's just important to point to this evolution that we've had from, there are things that are crypto assets like Bitcoin, where people primarily think about crypto assets as the stuff we can trade. And maybe you believe in the stuff and maybe you don't, but that's kind of phase one. Phase two is, let's say, computational networks, large computational networks of a kind that's different from running software in the cloud. They still run software, but they run software on different architecture. And so these are blockchain protocols. And in particular, when I say like public, it's things that that anyone can join and support and validate or mine and so on. And these networks run software. That software, you know, can be in the dozens of billions, hundreds of billions of value. And so you have a public financial sector essentially. And if you think about the DeFi waves or the NFT waves, those are kind of narrow ways to look at economic activity on chain. And then Web3 has become a much broader brush. That is a realization that actually these protocols, they're not just about some things you can trade, and they're not just about kind of transforming a particular sector. They are a way to have economic activity on the web such that it's no longer just a web of information and media, as Richard and Quentin laid out, but it's an economic web where you can have digital transactions, you can have digital value, you can have goods and services being made and owned, and you can have economic flows. And so, you know, that term has kind of evolved a bit from the early crypto roots. But that's not the only thing that's going on. And there are some really fundamental innovations also on in the private world, in the enterprise world, in the bank world. And I think Ripple has some of the best views into the types of transformations that are happening there. Sandy, could you expand for us a bit, kind of what you're seeing around the enterprise blockchain themes, as well as just more generally, how do institutions think about Web3 and crypto assets?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a good sort of broad description of Web3 from everyone on the panel. And I think to introduce sort of another terminology, right? We often talk about Web 2.5, actually, that we're...
All right, hold up. So before we dive deeper, okay, the name of this is Web3 for CFOs, right? So the CFOs of these companies, how blockchain, crypto, and the metaverse impact finance teams. Okay, that's the name of this this particular panel. Now, Cindy Young, she's the UK and Europe managing director at Ripple, blockchain and crypto and payments, digital assets, and Mastercard. She went to Harvard Business School, okay, where she received her MBA. Okay, now she's the managing director of the UK and of Europe, right? She's been in this role for literally 1 year and 5 months. I'm on her LinkedIn right now, so I'm giving you guys what she does, okay? She was a part of Mastercard Data and Services for 5 years and 6 months. So she's been in this fintech space. Look at this. She was the international, back in 2010, she was the international manager, product manager, global payments and cash management of the HSBC, which is a huge bank, okay, which is a huge bank, HSBC. So she has a huge, she worked at Morgan Stanley as a summer intern back in 2004, right? So and I'm skipping over things, but her resume is stacked with fintech. So listen to her as she talk about what is going on and how this change is actually happening.
Absolutely. And I think a good sort of broad description of Web3 from everyone on the panel. And I think to introduce sort of another terminology, right? We often talk about Web 2.5, actually, that we're potentially somewhere between, we're at still very early stages of Web3. There's a lot of things being, whether user experience improving, on and off ramps improving, some of the technology, obviously scaling challenges we're going through, there's a lot of new infrastructure coming out. So we're still in the early stages and really exploring different business models, etc. And where we see maybe some of the more tangible benefits and day-to-day applications is maybe that's kind of where Web 2.5 comes from. And that's where essentially, in a way, I would characterize as kind of where we mostly worked with, as Ripple, because really from early days, what Ripple has done is looked at, okay, what problems, right, can we solve with this great blockchain and crypto technology? And we've been around for 10 years. So we've seen a lot of that evolution from, being crypto Bitcoin being a very sort of a bad word that you shouldn't even announce, to looking at now very openly opportunities and even considering, again, crypto in the flow of payments from very established institutions. And we're focused on that sort of cross-border payments, challenges around, again, the traditional method, which I'm sure the audience was super familiar with, is the correspondent banking and SWIFT, which is the infrastructure that has been built essentially before the internet was even created, and structure that has been built essentially before the internet was even created. And it is not really fit the way we live today, which is so much more on-demand, digital, and global, obviously. And Web3, in a way, the way I see it is essentially going to, it's just the more evolved, expanded phase of where we live more and more in between those virtual and kind of physical realities, enabled by a number of technologies, not even just blockchain, of course. And what we're seeing essentially kind of at Ripple from institutions, again, maybe even 3-4 years ago, it would have been very, very challenging to have a conversation with a very established bank, payment service provider around, having a digital asset in your payment flow talking about benefits. But today, we're seeing that is becoming more and more accepted because of all the benefits, right? Because again, I mean, in our solution, we use specifically XRP, which is the digital asset, the native digital asset on the XRP ledger, because we believe it is best suited for this kind of payments solution. And what that allows is for basically payments, the value to be moved almost instantly across the world, everywhere, without having to pre-fund accounts and different currencies and different markets, and therefore locking up capital. And that creates a lot of benefits, not only to for example, to payment service providers who might be moving money for migrant workers or small businesses, but as I mentioned, also for corporate treasurers who are looking at that as a way to better manage their working capital and make sure they have currency where they need it, when they need it.
Okay, so that was the first part of this 49-minute amazing video. Okay, I wanted to bring this to light for you all, because how many of you all remember in Web 1? All right, and I kind of remember it, but back when we used to have those little and I'm so young, I don't even know what to really call those. I think they were called like floppy disks. I don't even know, like, what were those things that we used to take? It was like the little squares, and we used to put them into the thing. I was in daycare. I remember being at Rosebuds, which was our family daycare center that we had in Atlanta. I remember being in Rosebuds, and my aunt and everything, we used to have these big computers that used to have the big backs on them, and we used to stick them, right? So I guess they were called floppy disks, right? And so but back then, oh, and shout out, hold on, who just joined? We got a new member of the VO group. Who is this? Okay, shout out to Melanie. Okay, shout out to Melanie in the building. All right, Melanie just joined. Shout out to Melanie for joining the Vincent Owens Group. Can we go to the Discord real quick and just shout out Melanie? Just light it up for Melanie right now in the Discord. Also on the call. Appreciate you for joining us. Appreciate you for being a part of the group. And we're grateful for you. Welcome. Hopefully you learn a whole lot, and we get to connect a lot. A lot more over the time that you'll be spending with us here in the Vincent Owens Group. So welcome. Okay, now back to what I was saying about this. This space. Okay, so when it was in Web 1, how many of y'all felt like it was so hard? Like the internet back then was not as friendly as it is now. It was so hard. Like you basically had to know how to do computer pro. I remember like all these little like numbers and stuff. It looked like the Matrix. Like I remember it back then, right? And to where we are now, where you don't even have to do anything but click a button, because Google became so advanced, right? Microsoft became so advanced. Apple became so advanced. But those advancements came over what? Those advancements came over time. Things I must experience. Dial-up internet. Wow. I'm so young, I forgot to even mention dial-up internet. Like dial-up internet. My grandmother used to use dial-up internet. I remember that at her old house, and she used to have these. Y'all remember printing out MapQuest? Like you used to have to print MapQuest and mark your destination to know where you're going. You used to print. Life was tough then. But it wasn't that tough then. It was only tough because of how we see life now. I can just literally, hey Siri, take me to Burger King. Shout out to Burger King, our sponsor. All right, shout out. Look, Siri, answered me on my computer. My bad. All right, but look, Siri ready to take me to Burger King. I told you, Burger King said, "Have it your way." That was the message today. Okay, but my Siri is always answering you. So. I say that to say this. We're in Web 2.5, right? We're in Web 2.5 right now. And being in that space, it's kind of like being in Web 1, right? In the beginning of Web 1, before it became Web 2. Because Web 2 is so easy now. I mean, we got social media, but the problem with it is these corporations own all of our data. They own everything. What Web3 gives us is the opportunity to take ownership of our data. You're taking ownership. What are the different ways for us to be able to protect our intellectual property? This is what Web3 is all about. Protecting your intellectual property is so important, family. Now, let's continue to push forward because we still got a little bit more of this video to show, and then and then we'll be done, y'all. All right, but I don't want to leave anything out. So give me a few minutes, and we're gonna go to time marker 25. So we're gonna go to number 25. Here we go. Pay attention.
I think there's an interesting point in what you said also about, you can't book in crypto, and this point around either knowing what your revenue is in dollar terms or trying to forecast cash flow and trying to create high quality financial statements while the markets go up 1,000 times and down 95%, every other day. So Richard, Cindy, do you come across this in your roles, and how do you plan forward, or how do you help clients, plan forward when the underlying asset is so wiggly and volatile?
Yeah, I'm happy to go for a bit on that, Lex. So I guess when you think of cryptocurrencies in general, everyone has broadly categorized these assets into intangible assets because they can't really fit into any other bucket, right? And so, but when we look at intangible assets, these traditionally have been things like goodwill and patents for like drug companies and things like that, which traditionally are kind of impaired or amortized over time. And generally speaking, are not marked up. So the accounting standards that we have today and things like that aren't really defined appropriately to handle sort of the cryptocurrency nature in terms of sort of volatility and what you were just talking about now, and also in terms of like an active market, because traditionally, like I said, for goodwill, there hasn't been an active market. So we're at this kind of stage where we're trying to force cryptocurrency into this intangible asset sort of accounting standard, but it doesn't perform in the way that those traditionally have. And so what we're seeing, certainly in terms of volatility, is that you have a couple of options under sort of accounting standards for intangible assets. You can either mark it at cost, or you can mark it using the revaluation model. And the revaluation model, I guess, in terms of what you do for that, is you revalue it every month. And as we've seen, it obviously has been very volatile. So, whereas a cost basis, you obviously just mark it at cost. And if you were to sell that asset, you would take any gain on sale to retained earnings. And so I guess there's an accounting way and a tax way aspect to this as well. So, how does the taxation work for unrealized gains and things like that from HMRC's perspective in the UK? So it's still things that need to be worked out. Just one thing, just to sort of comment on in terms of payments and things like that. So one thing we do at Parity is we obviously hold DOT and Kasama on our balance sheet. And we do sort of reward our employees as well with some of those tokens. And the reason for that is because we want to feel like our employees here to feel empowered as part of the community. And I think that's kind of a really important aspect for us, certainly at Parity. Yeah, so at that point I'll pause and pass on to Cindy.
That's great. XRP is a big asset, and it also has different prices at different points of time. And
I want y'all to realize how like people smile in this industry when they say XRP. Do y'all ever notice that? Like people kind of get a little scared. Like pay attention to kind of his mannerisms. I'm gonna go back like maybe 10 seconds. Pay attention to his mannerisms when he speaks of XRP. I love it.
What else? Pausing class into Cindy.
That's great. XRP is a big asset, and it also has different prices at different points of time. You know, and you've talked, Sandy, about the importance of liquidity, the importance of having a lot of liquidity if you are going to support clients within payment networks. What's the impact of you know, volatility on being able to provide a product, as well as just more generally, like how do you talk to clients who have concerns there about that issue?
Yeah, I think what I would say is, I mean, the beauty of how we operate, particularly around this sort of on-demand liquidity solution that we use, where we use XRP as a bridge currency essentially to move fiat around the world, right? Is really giving the benefits of blockchain technology and crypto to our kind of very traditionally operating finance functions, and again, heads of treasury, CFOs, typically our clients, without any exposure to that volatility, right? We take on that risk, and we use our expertise that developed again over the last sort of 10 years to make sure that, you know, we source the right asset from the market at the right time. We very much obviously believe in transparency is a very important topic, well, in any industry really, but especially in this. And, you know, we publish on our website, for example, our markets report, where we disclose all the purchases and sales of XRP. But I think, again, the beauty is, like, it's actually interesting. A lot of times when I speak to our clients, they say, well, you know, don't even tell me you're a crypto company. I don't see you as a, you know, you are, you know, you help me do cross-border payments better, make sure that I have the right currency in the right company, and you provide me the technology that is on the back end that allow those benefits. So I think it is a really that is on the back end, and you provide me the technology that is on the back end that allow those benefits. So I think it is a really interesting way of bridging, again, that sort of traditional traditional finance world with the crypto world, in a way that, again, brings those benefits of not having to park liquidity, manage working capital better, and not having to rely on, again, you know, constant forecasts and estimates and the operational burden and headache of, you know, having to know how much fund to park where, dealing with T+2-3 day kind of settlement times. Literally, could be a treasurer sitting anywhere in the world and manage your global treasury operations pretty much at the click of a button anywhere in the world. And again, you're not exposed to the volatility of XRP or any other digital asset.
Do y'all understand what we hold? Do you know what we hold? We hold something that has changed the way that everything is being done in the world financially. This solution is not for us, but it is. It's for us on the other side, but it's for the institutions and the banks first. We hold something that they want to have total dominance and total ownership and total control over. And we own it only because it started as a decentralized currency. I do believe there's a time where XRP, we won't be able to own it. I do believe that this coin will be something like Book of Eli. I do believe that. That's why we hold it on a ledger. You hold it on an offline ledger. Think about the movie Book of Eli. I mean, there's so many movies, but it just reminds me of Book of Eli, the times that we're going through right now. Because if you hold your money on an exchange, not your keys, not your crypto, if your XRP is on an exchange and they decide to shut down all the exchanges and you can't even use, so it's like at that point, what's the purpose of owning XRP? Well, I'm gonna just continue to hold it. I'm gonna continue to hold it on my ledger, and I'm gonna let the hard times play out. So many people are gonna lose out on money because they did not switch it over to their ledger. Ms. Sharon, I have a question for you. How was the feeling when you finally got your XRP over to the ledger? What was that feeling that you felt?
I felt like it was safe, but I haven't gotten everything over yet, so I'm going to
Okay.
need some help. But I just bought some more, and I bought some more H bar, so I want to get all of that over. But there's a feeling of it's safe now.
Mm.
You know, it's safe because I every time I go to my phone and I look at that, I'm a little bit fearful. Will that be there? Will that be there next time? You know, it's a feeling to have that. I thank you for helping me set that up.
Oh no, you're welcome. Yeah, you're definitely welcome. But I just wanted y'all to hear that, like, from her, I mean, Miss Sharon is she has been so diligent in buying these coins and wanting to protect her assets, and just sending it over to something like a ledger makes you feel so much safe. Because when you don't have a ledger and when you don't have a wallet, I want to give y'all this example that I give to some of the students. When you don't have a ledger and you don't have a wallet, it's kind of like going to the ATM, pulling out money and just putting the money on the counter. It's like you go to the Hood Mart, right? I'm going to the Hood Mart for my backwoods. Okay. I got it. They have a minimum. So I got to go over to the ATM to go get out some money, okay, that I need. I go get my cash out, Chris, and I leave my cash on the side of the ATM. I say, you know what? Since this ATM is taking too long, I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick, use the bathroom, come right back. Do you think your money gonna be there when you get back? Especially at the Hood Mart. No, sir. It is not gonna be there no more, right? And it's the same, and I use that example because the safer way, the way for you to be more secure, the way for you not to, be rushing from the bathroom and not wash your hands and, all those other things, what ends up happening is you take out that fear of having to run back from the bathroom, use the bathroom fast, that anxiety that somebody's going to take my money. Okay. This might not be the best example, but it's my example. Okay. You got the anxiety that like, oh, I got to get back to the ATM, get my money. But if you had to just been patient, took the time to wait until the money came out, and then you put it in your wallet, now you feel safer because your money's in your wallet. And the only way somebody can take that money is if they knock you upside the head and knock you out, because you're going to fight to the end, right? So understand that it's the same exact way in crypto. Leaving your crypto on an exchange is like running to the restroom and hoping that a thief won't steal it in the night. Like a thief in the night, right? Like literally, like a thief in the night. You don't want someone to sneak in and take what's yours like a thief in the night. So understanding that, you got to get your cryptos off these exchanges and onto a wallet. If you need help, we can give you help here in our group. We can provide that help. We can provide that assistance. We can provide that support. But you have to take the first initiative, which is getting started, right? Getting a mentor. So I know we're a little over the time, and I do appreciate y'all's patience. It's 11:11 right now, so 1111. So shout out to the time. I want to take the time to allow anybody that has one thing that they want to share, shared, or loved on this episode. Please go ahead and raise your hand. I'd love to hear from a few people, if possible, about something maybe you learned on this show today, or something that may have stuck out to you, or something that may have truly helped you. Okay. And as I'm doing that, I also want to take the time to drop this link right here for you guys. Okay. If you are not a part of the Discord group, guys, this is the cheapest, like literally, like it's so affordable. I'm not gonna call it cheap because it ain't cheap. It's affordable. Okay. Join the Discord group. Join the Discord group. Get started. This is the link right here. Join the Discord group. Get started. Here's the link. Don't wait no longer. Because it's either going to be you can invest $50 today to be around the right information, or you can continue to try to guesstimate your way through this space. And you don't got that time. I had that time. I've been in the space of 5 years. I had the time to guesstimate. I had the time to figure it out. You don't have that luxury. November is here. November, the switch happens. The switch starts. You don't have that luxury of trying to figure out this space by yourself. So pay $50. Pay somebody. It don't gotta be me. Find somebody or some community to attach to. If the community's free, it ain't worth nothing. Ain't nothing free worth anything. That's why it's free. There's nothing free. Free ain't worth anything. So don't try to get this information for free all the time. Sometimes you have to pay for knowledge. You got to pay to play. Don't be afraid to play, because I promise you, if you pay to play in our space, you're going to learn a whole lot. We have true trading calls a week now. Chris Lina is one of our educators. I love to invite my brother Chris up to say a couple things. We got the Blue Factory taking off this week, and I'm gonna call on Miss Sharon. I saw your hand raised, but Chris, I wanted to call on you right quick. If you got anything to say to the people, and y'all already know, if y'all know about Chris and you've been on Chris Wednesday call, the first call he did last week, he ain't missed a trade yet. But if you've been on Chris's trading call last Wednesday, drop Chris' favorite emoji and his favorite saying, so the rest of the world can know. Does anybody know what his favorite hashtag is and his favorite emoji is? Can somebody drop it in the chat box to fire my guy up so he can come up here and bless y'all real quick with this information? Can we light up the chat box? Mr. Blue. Can somebody light up Mr. Blue in the chat box? Hashtag Blue. If you don't know, now you know. Hashtag Blue Seasons, because it's the only reason. Chris, you got a quick second, bro? Let me see if my brother's available. Mr. Blue, are you there? Let me see if my brother there. He also got a son, so don't hold it to him if he can't come up. He has a son. His son is young, so he might be I'm pretty sure he's taking care of his son because he's an hour behind me, so it's 10 a.m. So I definitely believe he might be. But if you have not heard about Mr. Blue, I'm sorry if he can't come up. I'm gonna try again. Mr. Blue, are you there? Are you available? If not, it's all good. We'll catch you tomorrow, all right, on the trading call. Wait.
Talk to me.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, family?
Hey, I just wanted you to just tell them how the bags have been, over the past, how has the weather been, how's the weather been over the past couple of, last week or so?
Man, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. It's been windy out here, real windy, real supernatural. It just feel like the wind is just blowing the markets where I need them to go. I've definitely been trusting mytrade.com because that's how you get to the blues, is to trust your trade. So, guys, I ain't gonna lie, I dropped 2 trades in the past couple of days, and they both smack TP and beyond. So, I'm looking to start holding these trades longer. Maybe give y'all more than one take profit, so we can definitely get in our bag. I think I dropped a buy limit for Australian dollar, US dollar twice. And they both came back and smacked just like I thought they would. So I'm telling you guys, if you really trying to get in your bag, it will behoove you to be on this call tomorrow, because I'm definitely doing all I can in the trenches to make sure that I'm giving you guys good analysis and good trades with low risk. I think that trade I dropped yesterday was on like a 2 to 3 pip stop loss, which is asinine, bro. But I mean, I'd rather lose short and get a big gain than risk it all trying to get a little gain. That's how I trade. The trade ain't going my way. We out of there. So guys, just be patient, trust the process, guys, and we're gonna all eat. All right. I'm talking about this is a whole buffet we got going on right here, guys. So hey man, I appreciate you letting me hop on the call and say my little piece. My boy, you keep grinding, and I appreciate these calls. Very informative, bro. A lot of people don't know where to find this information, and I just thank God that he put it on your heart to be a servant, bro. So continue to grind, my guy.
Most definitely appreciate you, Chris. Make sure y'all on that call tomorrow. And the only way to gain access to these trading calls is being inside of the Discord. So $50. Are you kidding me? I'm dropping the link again. $50. Are you kidding me? Like literally, I made $50 on one of the trade. I took a twin trade and made 50 on one of the twins. You know what I'm saying? So y'all know how the other twin went. You know what I mean? Like for real. So don't miss the opportunity to join the Blue Factory as we really dive deeper. And if y'all don't know, I've been trading with Chris over the last 4 years, 3-4 years of our journey. No, it ain't. It's not all 4 yet. Have you been on the trading calls, Billy? I know Billy been on the trading calls. You know what I mean? It's not. So hop on tomorrow. We focus on a lot of different things. We focus on the charts. You know what I mean? Like we focus on the charts themselves. All right. It don't matter what you're trading when you understand technical analysis, right? It does not matter what you're trading when you understand technical analysis, because you can take that same education and trade. So yes, we focus on everything on our Wednesday call because the markets are open. On Saturday, the markets are closed. That's why we focus on XRP. XRP, we only trade on Saturday because of the fact that yes, sir, Billy. But yeah, I'm sorry guys if I'm going back. I'm looking at the chat. I'm that guy that like I don't ignore the chat. Like some influencers, they won't answer y'all in the chat. Like I'll stop everything to answer the chat because y'all ask, that's your way of asking questions, and I don't want you to feel like I'm ignoring you because that's so important that we address questions immediately. So I appreciate y'all for dropping those questions. But with that being said, I want to thank the people on YouTube for coming. I'm gonna go ahead and end our live stream.